Hey, this is a screencast series called Vim Un-Alphabet. My name is Josh Branshaw, and this is episode 25 in the series. In this episode, we'll be looking at the single quote character. The single quote character is almost exclusively used for referencing and jumping to marks. First off, we'll be looking at user-defined marks. This is something that we looked at in a much earlier episode on the backtick character. We'll see that using the single quote with a mark will jump the cursor to the first non-blank character of that line, as opposed to the exact line and column position as backtick does. Marks defined in the current file with a lowercase letter can be jumped to by hitting single quote and that lowercase mark. Marks defined in any file with an uppercase letter can be jumped to by hitting single quote and that uppercase mark. So I have a lowercase mark defined on line 20 that I can jump to using quote A, and you'll see that the cursor is placed on the first non-blank character of that line. Similarly, I have uppercase A marked in another file, so if I hit quote uppercase A, I jump to this file, and the cursor is placed at the beginning of this line where that mark is defined. I'll hit Ctrl O to jump back. Next, there are some built-in marks that Vim keeps track of for you as you are jumping around and interacting with the buffer. First off, Vim uses the quote mark itself to keep track of the position of the cursor before the latest jump. If I jump to the top of the file and then hit quote quote, Vim jumps the cursor back to line 24 where it previously was. Another interesting one are these open and close bracket marks. These are used to jump to the beginning and end of the previously changed or yanked text. If I make a visual selection like that, and I hit yank, then from anywhere else in the file, I can hit quote open bracket, and the cursor is placed at the beginning of the line where the yank started. And if I hit quote close bracket, then the cursor is placed at the beginning of the line where the yank ended. This particular mark is probably more useful when used with the backtick, where the open position would be here, and the close position would be here, which are the exact positions of the yank. Similarly, you can jump to sentence and paragraph boundaries with parentheses and curlies. And then last, you can jump to a mark in the current file without altering the jump list by preceding that mark with a G. Right now I have the cursor on line 29. If I hit 22G, then the cursor is placed on line 22, which will make the latest entry in the jump list to be for line 29, which is where I just came from. Now if I hit G quote A, I jump to line 20. Normally a movement like this would result in line 22 getting entered into the jump list. But because I hit G quote A, the jump list was not altered. I can demonstrate this by hitting Ctrl O, which jumps back to line 29. That's it for this episode. Check out the help files for more on setting marks, jumping to them, and how the built-in ones work. In the next episode, we'll be looking at the / character.